Um, I wanted to come here and talk about a story I think that would be interesting to write about, just involving my culture. So I just wanted to share this with all y'all. um, yeah. So basically, there's a little baby girl being born, and um, because of the things that the family can sense, they realize that the little baby girl is able to have, they could see in her future because they dabble in different types of magic. And the little girl is, they see that she is destined to have extreme, everything, greatness, wealth, loved, adoration, shining like a star. And so, because they see that fantasy, that is promised by God in the future to the child, um, in their culture, they would basically destiny swap, because of so many generations of, I'm gonna lay down, of people that do this type of evil magic. They can, if the baby is newly born and that, haven't gotten it baptized, then they can destiny swap with the child. An adult can take the destiny of the child. So in the story, that little girl, she kind of basically gets auctioned off, essentially, and her destiny is she's just a baby. She's not gonna be able to, God and the angels are gonna protect her as much as they can, but it's literally she doesn't have her own autonomy yet, because she's not walking, talking, can run away, nothing like that. So this has happened for generations throughout this culture. They're we'll do this for babies. That's why this culture actually has a lot of children, why they overproduce, because they're basically hey, if we have more kids, then we have a better chance of getting a child that's gonna have a higher destiny. So that's their reasoning. So in my story, this particular family in this culture is auctioning off the child. One of the adults of gets, it's not the parents, because the parents can also be hey, we want our own child's destiny swap, but I think it's because it's a collective unit family thing, that they any kid they have to be basically put them up for auction, essentially, if people want to. So that's what happens. And then the parents that are can enter into the auction too. So, but the little girl, she gets won by her mom's cousin. So then they do the ritual and stuff, and I don't know how that's gonna go, but it's probably very terrifying and creepy and stupid, and I'm sure it involves sexual abuse, because what easier tool is there to destroy a soul than abuse of the body? That just when we got there, let's just, anyways. So probably something with that. This is obviously gonna be adult content because heavy topics. So that happens to her, but other things that are kind of relating to the general culture where this situation is happening is that women are in charge. Like, it's a female led, like, culture. And even though it's female led, it's in a space of toxic masculinity, or at least the way that we establish it in our reality. So it's like what would generally be considered toxic masculinity for us, and like just like overpowering, overbearing, just like basically whatever I say is like the right thing, and like you need to listen to me just cause, like not even like taking other people into account, or just kind of like, you know, like coming to a compromise. It's kind of like overpowering, basically. Mostly that's what that is. So the women who are the main leaders in this society lead through that toxic masculinity way, where they don't need any help and they're in charge. So then, because of that, the men are stripped of their light from God. So they're constantly siphoned off, basically, the whole time. And, like, they're not as aware of it. Like, they know of, like, the ritual with the baby and stuff like that. But there's, like, a deeper level within, like, the women of the society that they're like, oh, yeah, low-key, we're, like, taking the men's light like this whole time, and like it's totally fine, like kind of like energy vampires. Like they're just like constantly like, okay, well, I didn't have coffee today, I guess I'll take Steve. It's like, god damn, bitch, what the fuck. A person is not an energy drink. Yeah, so it's that vibe. People be crazy. This is why I'm like, just like this stuff I've like, anyways, I've been very inspired in the last I have been very inspired in the last 24 hours. So shout out God for this inspiration, putting me in rooms that I need to be in and saying things I need to say, and I'm happy that I'm being myself and I'm a nice person, and apparently that's really crazy, bro. Like, what? Somebody can actually be nice and mean it? Anyways, so then, what was the other thing? Okay, so then, because of all the men being stripped very raw to a place in their inner light, that the, like, women are taking basically the, like, light of God that they would have shown, and, like, they would have, like, flourished and, like, become, like, who they're supposed to become, like, at least whatever lifetime they're in. So, like so and so should have made it from, like, A to B, but it's like, because it gets siphoned, it's like, I should probably do it with numbers. So, like, if let's say a guy's born and he starts with like a 2, and then he's supposed to end with 8, and then like he gets like his light taken like over time, he'll probably be like a 5, you know, like that kind of thing. It's like he didn't quite make it to where he needed to. It doesn't matter, because stuff changes all the time when we're living our lives, but like, because he was stripped of that God light, he was like basically not able to do all he promised to God before he came onto this earth to do, which is like, fuck, it's very messed up. So, and then obviously it's like, is whatever too in the grand scheme of things, because like we could come back and do more stuff, but like a lot of things are like very critical with the universe, like how stuff is happening right now, and like different technologies, and who's on the earth and who's not on the earth, and like there's a lot of parts, but God, source, universe figures that out. So like no matter what, it's gonna be fine, we're gonna be great. But it just blows, right? Because it's like when you come onto this earth and you're born with like God's light in you and like God's plan for you, you should be able to like have that, like, standards, minimums. Like, we hope we could go past that, you know? Because it's like we can shine even brighter, and then all of us can shine, and that'd be beautiful. But that is what I'm thinking for that. And then, oh yeah, so they get stripped. Because the men get stripped to the raw place with their inner light. In exchange, they become like toxic zombies. So it's not quite like the toxic masculinity. It's more like a shut down, standby mode, which is basically you're stuck. And it's like it has waves, you know, come back and up and down, but like basically you're like stuck in like you're glitching out essentially. So that's messed up. But the women, in exchange for like basically vampiring, like drinking up that God's light, they get what they think they want, which is completely different from what you actually need. So it just like creates further chaos, and then people bump into each other of different stuff, because like two people could want the same thing, but that's not what's gonna happen. So also with the general inspiration, I'm happy that I am gender fluid, because I feel like, because the fact that I have a line between like sometimes I distinguish as a man, and sometimes I distinguish as a girl, or sometimes I said girl instead of woman, I should say woman. Distinguish between those two, or just like human, like all the things. I think this gives me a bigger view, like outside more perspective, because I can see it from like the male's point of view, because I've like lived in that space where like literally like I was treated differently just by like how I presented myself, because guys thought, and women, everybody thought I was like a man, so I was like treated as one, and then other times, those are the time getting treated like a woman, and then other times where people can't really tell. So it is nice having that like bigger perspective, because then it's like kind of like I feel like I can kind of like understand where my story wants to go. So yeah, and it helps me learn more about myself, so I'm down with that. And also, God is pretty cool. P.S. But you already knew. I think I'm done explaining my story.